Your lies, I said you got me where you want me again, and I can't turn away. I'm hanging by a thread and I'm
got off to a quick start in the first half, scoring in the first 7 minutes. It seemed like after that there was a little bit lull in momentum. Do you credit El Camino's defense for making in-game adjustments, or can I get your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, they made some really great adjustments. They really did. They started to put some pressure on us on the outside. We like to play around, the outside normally, but in this stadium you can't do that. There's a crust and a little curve, and so any ball that you play down the line is going to go out of bounds. And so one of the things that we were really wanting our kids to do was to play through the middle a little bit better and a little bit quicker, and we weren't doing that after the goal. We started to try to play down the line, and you just can't do that here.
So since you say your team likes to play on the outsides and it's a little bit more difficult on this field because it's slanted downward, do you think that had an effect on the outcome today?
I think there were periods in the game where we hadn't made the adjustments. Once we made the adjustments, there was still some really good soccer to be had. El Camino is a quality program, and I think that they always play to the level of their competitor, and they're a very well coached team. The kids play 90 minutes of soccer. They're always good shooters, and the one goal that they had, the girl was wide open, unmarked. About a good 34 yards out, and she cracked it, and there was no saving that goal. So you give her credit. That's soccer. We like that part of the game. We shot 33 times. You have to have a better scoring percentage. We've been talking about it for weeks now here about our offense, and ultimately this part of the season, it's time to put the ball in the net. You can't miss a penalty kick there, and we had a beautiful headshot by Taco that was called back on an offside, so it wasn't. And so, but when you shoot 33 times, your goal for percentage should be a lot higher than it was today. And we take responsibility for that, and we're going to work really hard. That's what we talked about after the game. We talked about being in practice and taking responsibility for keeping our heads down and getting the ball in the back of the net. And we say all the tactical and technique things to do, and yet then we got balls flying over here and in the parking lot, and that silliness can't happen. If you want to be a champion, you got to put the ball in the net.
You mentioned putting the ball in the net. In the second half, the team appeared to be controlling possession really well and getting a lot of shots. I think 20 alone in the second half. Is there something you contribute to not being able to put the ball in the net, because you were getting a lot of shots on goal?
We think this place is haunted. We always have a hard time here. We have a hard time at Pasadena. These are two places in the conference that you go and there just seems to be a breeze that keeps the ball out. We played great soccer second half. The kids knocked the ball around. They really stuck to the game plan. We dominated the entire time. We didn't have a lot of trouble with their offense, so I just had our two backs marking, and chips fell where they may. And like I said, it's hard to get a goal taken back like that when it is earned. And then coming back from missing the penalty kick, again, I've told you soccer's a magical game, and it's about momentum. And we lost some momentum there, but I still think the kids played really good soccer, and I'm very proud of the kind of character that they show out there. This was big for us, and puts us in a tie with Cerritos for first place, and now we have to do some things to get the work done. So we made some adjustments at halftime as well.
You touched on momentum. In the second half, Marcy missed the shot off the top crossbar. That was a rock. It was a heartbreaker. And then you mentioned Ashley. She missed the penalty kick, and as well as the offsides penalty negating the goal. Do you think that did slow the girls' morale, or kind of take their momentum a little bit, get in their heads?
Boy, if I knew that, I guess I would be, coaching the U.S. national team, because that really is the game. I mean, the mystery of the game is why it's the most popular game in the world. It's the beautiful game, and it's not about the passes you hit or the blocks that you have. There's something mysterious and special about this game, and momentum is really a part of it. I'm still trying to discover the key. I'll let you know when I figure it out.
Last question.
Sure.
You guys are still number 3 in the state. Can I just get your feelings on how your team played overall as the game in a whole?
I'm happy that we came to them with a game plan at halftime, and they kept coming back to the game plan. I'm really proud of them for that. We're a young team, and that's important. I'm disappointed that we are not being responsible about our shooting. I'm disappointed in that, and we talked about it after the game. You know, I could have yelled and screamed and, you know, banged my chest a little bit and really got a lot out of them over the next 2 practices. But, you know, that's not what we do here. And it's a growing opportunity, and we're all going to take responsibility for our parts, including coach, and we'll come back to the drawing board tomorrow and fix this problem. And if we can't fix this problem, we will be beat by teams that are not as good as us. And that's the key. We've got to put the ball in the net.
Thanks, Coach.
At the moment, I'm slowed down for maybe a couple seconds or a few minutes, and then we took notice and we kept coming right back with our shots, and, you know, shot after shot, and we didn't capitalize, but we were still, it was a good fight and we were fighting hard.
In the second half, you guys had 20 shots on target. A lot of missed opportunities. Marcy missed a shot off the top crossbar. Ashley missed a penalty kick. Do you think those missed opportunities slowed down momentum and morale towards the end of the game?
I mean, I definitely think that it slowed down morale for sure, because, I mean, we were all bummed and, you know, we wanted that shot to get ahead again. But, I mean, like I said, we just kept fighting and kept trying to get back in the game to win the game, because we didn't want to lose, we didn't want to tie. But, I mean, we took notice and we picked it back up.
Could you just give me a couple comments on Coach's message post-game? What she think you guys needed to do better?
Well, she said stick to the game plan. Our game plan was obviously different this game because the field was so bad. So she wanted, you know, the outside balls to get sent across to the middle and the middle balls to get hit to the corner flags. So she said stick to the game plan and, you know, just keep fighting because everyone's out to get us. So.
It kind of seemed like the field was kind of curved, like it kind of slants downhill on both sides. Mm-hmm. Do you think that affected your guys' play?
I think it affected our play from hitting the ball down the sideline. That's why we had to change up the game plan and send the balls to the center, because if we hit it down the line, then it would roll out of bounds. So we had to definitely take notice and switch that up.
Thank you. You guys' team got off to a quick start in the first half, scoring the first 7 minutes, like Coach really wanted to. Do you credit El Camino's defense with the stall and momentum at the end of the first half, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, personally, I believe El Camino played really well, actually. So I actually give them credit on that. El Camino's a great team. If anything, it's our fault because we just need to practice on finishing. We practice it every day at practice and stuff, so we just need to learn that if you're forward or if you're up there, you get the ball, it should just be a goal, like automatically. It's just college soccer, so any ball you get in the 18-yard box or anything is an automatic goal. So we just have to learn from it.
In the second half, you guys were doing really well in the beginning of the second half, controlling possession and getting shots on goal. Actually, you had 20 in the second half alone. It seemed when Marcy missed the shot off the top crossbar and Ashley missed the penalty kick that momentum and morale kind of slowed. Can you give me your thoughts on that?
Well, when Marcy had that nice crossbar shot and we weren't there to finish it and there was no goalkeeper inside, we kind of felt like frustrated with ourselves. We started putting ourselves down, like, come on, like, and that's like what we did not need because we were up tied 1-1, so we had to just keep it calm. And then once we missed the PK, we also got frustrated with one another, and that's like another thing that we need to just avoid because frustration's not going to let you win the game. So we just had to keep it cool. We tried to keep it cool. We just couldn't get it in eventually, but.
So would you say you have to be more patient? Yeah,
patient, and just keep it cool. I mean, it doesn't matter what the score is, just always play with the flow, because if you play too rushed, you're not going to get the result that you want.
The game got a little intense in the second half. Coach Bowen was talking to the refs a little bit. There was what appeared to be a couple missed calls. What would have been the go-ahead goal in the second half got negated by an offsides goal. Can you just walk me through that play and give me your thoughts?
Well, it was a really good play, actually. I believe it was Ashley. Ashley. That was going down the line, and she crossed a beautiful ball to our other halfback, and she headed it in. And it was definitely not an offsides. The ref was still a little bit behind trying to catch up. The men's team was out there too on the outside of the other side, and they saw it was a goal. Coach got really frustrated with that. she tried to talk to him like what was the call, and he just basically said, I'm doing my job, you know, and stuff. But I think that was a goal. So.
The game today is being played on a makeshift soccer field. It's supposed to be a football field. I noticed down the sidelines it kind of slants downwards, and so did that have an effect on your guys' game plan coming into the game?
Yeah, Coach told us after the game that this place in Pasadena is the toughest place to play in, just because the field is so awkward. Like especially here, it goes down, so that's just a really effect. And we're so used to playing on the sides, so we just had to try to play in the middle, and it's a different game plan. But at the end, we just had to deal with it. I mean.
So just give me your final thoughts on the game as a whole.
As a whole, I thought it was a really good game, like literally the best game of soccer so far. It was a really intense game. It was a good battle. We'll learn from this, and hopefully we're still unbeaten, so we're just going to learn from this. It hurts us, but next game we're going to come back hard with the win.